79 extreme weather events and more than 2,000 in Asia killed just in 2023. This is a report by the World Meteorological Organization, or the WMO. The State of the Climate in Asia 2023 report states that Asia has warmed faster than the global average, and the warming trend has nearly doubled since the 1961 to 1990 period. Over 60% of the 2,000 deaths happened due to disasters associated with flooding and over 15% with storms. A prolonged heat wave affected much of Southeast Asia in April and May last year, extending westwards in Bangladesh and eastern India and parts of China as well. Floods occurred in India during August 2023, and Himachal Pradesh and Uttarakhand, the hill states, recorded 25 deaths as well as extensive damage to infrastructure and agriculture. The Indian subcontinent experienced 6 tropical cyclones in 2023. In fact, the cyclonic activity was slightly above the average of 5.4 cyclones. 4 out of the 6 cyclones, Mocha, Hamoon, Midhili and Michong, formed over the Bay of Bengal, and 2, Biparjoy and Tej, formed over the Arabian Sea. Michong made landfall in South Andhra Pradesh on the 5th of December and claimed 22 lives. The report, in fact, also took note of the significant glacial lake outburst flood that occurred in South Lonak Lake in Sikkim in October last. The incident, remember, had killed over 40 people. WMO Secretary General Celeste Sol said that climate change is profoundly impacting societies, economies, and most importantly, human lives and the environment that we live in. So what's the reason behind Asia being most affected, and how can we counter it? Let's understand this from the experts themselves. On the show tonight, I'm joined by Mr. Anand Sharma. He's the former Additional Director General at the Indian Met Department. I'm also joined by Bhavreen Kandhari, who's an environmentalist and a member of My Right to Breathe. Good evening, namaskar, welcome to both of you. First of all, let me start with you, Anand Sharma. You know, this report is concerning, it's alarming, but this is not something that we are new to. We have been hearing this. The concerning part, of course, for all of us here in India is the fact that it states that Asia has been the biggest victim in 2003 of the climate crisis. Why particularly Asia?
See, now, as we know, Asia is one of the, again, developing area where a lot of, population is, is one of the highest in the, if you see the density wise, then a lot of development is also taking place. And a lot of people are especially living in vulnerable areas. When I say vulnerable area, is near to the ocean, near to the river, where these floods come. And most of this development is unplanned. So wherever there is unplanned development, there is encroachment. Whenever there is an extreme event, there people are affected the most. And if you go all across Asia, Indian examples, whether it's a Uttarakhand example or Himachal Pradesh or any other area, wherever there is a fragile ecosystem accompanied with extreme event and unplanned development, you will see more damages to the property and even loss of life. But at the same time, when we talk about cyclone...
Does it also have to do something with, Anand Sharma, with the location of the Asian continent? Or, coupled with, of course, the human activities, but largely the location, the kind of water bodies that surround it, all of this also, does it add up to the kind of crisis that we are seeing in Asian subcontinent right now?
Yes, Shreya. Say, for example, I will concentrate on India. As you see, we have a long coastline. We are surrounded by Arabian Sea, Bay of Bengal, Indian Ocean. And we all know that due to this ocean, we have cyclones. And whenever these cyclones reach our coast, they bring lots of rain, strong winds, and a wave storm surge. And all these three lead to damages. So it's again your geography, your location that affects a lot, no doubt about it. But as if in the case of cyclone, if we see, although you just said just average, but the highest number of cyclones what we have received in India so far is 9. So it's okay. It's nothing, something, very extreme thing has happened last year. One. Second thing, the damages were the least. I mean, as far as human life is concerned, because there was a better early warning system there in place. Now move to the Himalayas. Again, Himalayas are the very fragile ecosystems, and heavy, very heavy, and sometimes extremely heavy rainfall is a typical feature of Himalayas in the monsoon season. And whenever that happens, you know the kind of unplanned development has taken place in all the hill station across the Himalayas,
Sure.
be it Shimla, be it Nainital, be it
Okay,
Mussoorie,
let me
be it
take this across to
Gangtok.
Bhavreen. Bhavreen, you know, this is a bone of contention that we have been talking about for years now, that tussle between development and sustaining our environmental ecosystem, our ecology. That tussle has always remained. And as much as we sit in studios and talk about it, as much as we have conclaves and conferences at a global level, until and unless something happens on ground, things will not change. Is there anything at all happening on ground? Or is it just lip service that countries are doing globally?
Yes, Shreya, you've said it also. You've just described everything the way you've said it, and I'll add to Mr. Anand. Of course, the greenhouse gas emissions that are primarily responsible for the heat wave or the increase in temperatures is what really makes, and this is clearly connected to the climate change. And quite ironically, it's just hardly made any way to the elections, and nobody even talks about it. It's not even, besides just one term in the manifestos, there's nothing else. The fact that even the elections are being held at a time when there's terrible heat waves, and as you saw, our minister, and also there were more. There was another, he was commissioner who fainted. There was, even in the last week, there's an anchor in Doordarshan who collapsed while speaking. I mean, these are all the people who have access to, good, comfortable, situation and all. But in spite of that, and not long ago, last year, in June, I think in June, in Navi Mumbai, there was a rally. And there's so many people died. Can you imagine, that you're going to go to a rally and not come back because you died of a heat stroke? So this is a situation, but we are not even, taking it that seriously or even considering it, when we are planning our, something as huge as the elections. So that itself shows that we are not serious about it. We don't take it. We don't prioritize it. I didn't have to come to this, but because your question, I'm trying to relate it to that we don't really, we don't work on it. The year round, we are working on policy and, various things. Of course, we are trying to bring renewable energy, like you said. It's good on the papers. It's being done. It's being done. But it's not at the pace that we should have, because this is what we are going to face. This is the wrath of nature that we or the people are going to face, and that eventually becomes from heat wave to, like you said, crop failure, water loss, various such. Now, right now, also, I think more than about 20 out of 22 glaciers are melting. That is again adding to the greenhouse gas emissions. No matter what you will try doing here, but those greenhouse gas emission will add to the thing. So you have to kind of work backwards and reduce in every way the sources.
And that's going to take a lot of time. It doesn't happen in one day or 1 week or 1 month even. It takes years to actually reverse this whole damage that we are seeing. But Anand Sharma, I want to refer to what President Draupadi Murmu said today. President Draupadi Murmu said that the destruction of forests is the destruction of humanity, and that human life can be saved from crisis through conservation and promotion of forests. Forests cover has, of course, depleted over the past several years, and something that we have been seeing. And as much as we would want to say that, okay, we're going to replant and we're going to do all of this, it takes years to actually get that cover back. But in terms of now having solutions at hand to actually deal with this crisis, what can we do?
The first thing is that climate action, as you also said, we have to do climate action. बातें बहुत हो गई हैं. We have spoken a lot. But what is happening? See, you have seen sustainable development goals. we were to achieve those goals by 2030. Now already it is 2024 and nothing, I should say. I mean, something has happened, but not much. So what is required is now climate action. Although there are at international level, there are agencies. We have Paris Agreement that we have to reduce the temperature to 1.5 degrees from the pre-industrial area. We have Sendai framework for disaster risk reduction. We also have sustainable development goal where point number 13 says climate action. So all those things are there. Renewable energies, people are talking about it. Then a lot of implementations there in India. We are already moved into that. But this is not enough. One. Second thing is that as long as we are having a capitalist economy, things are not going to work in the favor of climate. Capitalist economy
But
means
Anand
you want to
Sharma, I
produce more
always
houses,
differ with
more
this
cars.
point. Blaming capitalism for this is a very convenient argument. You can't be saying that we're not building highways, we're not building infrastructure where it's not there. You need that as well. You can't be making it a villain. It's very convenient to
I agree.
make
What I'm trying to say
infrastructure
here
and
is that
development activities as the villain in this. But
what I'm
yes,
trying to say is that
there needs to be a solution where we can balance it out. Yeah.
agree. That's what
Bhavin,
I was
what
coming
Anand
to.
Sharma said is
Development
understandable.
has to be there, but
But I'll
development
tell
with
you
least
what.
destruction.
Yeah.
Development has to be there. I'm not saying we
Yes,
don't want
sure.
development. We want development, but development with least destruction. Suppose if you want to construct some highway or a
Sure.
dam, proper environment impact assessment has to be done. It has to be monitored and it has to be implemented. Many times it has been seen a big project has been, granted, environment impact
Yes.
assessment has been prepared, but it is not up to the mark, and that is why the problems come up.
Yes.
So what I'm
Yes,
trying
you're
to say is
absolutely
that if
right. In
we
that
want
case
development,
in point, Bhavreen, what we saw in Himachal Pradesh, what we see in Uttarakhand, the kind of destruction that we saw last summer and monsoon season, there have been checks in place before those activities have begun, but some rules have been flouted or things have not been properly implemented on ground, which led to the situation. And we can talk as much as we want about the reports that come out in UN or global platforms regarding, reducing certain degree or doing this and doing that. But that is not something that the common man, the Aam Aadmi, would understand. The Aam Aadmi would understand that, listen, you have to switch off your fans, you don't have to waste water. These are the little things that actually help in the bigger cause.
Yeah, of course, individual efforts are important, but more than that, it's the governments and the authorities who have to lead. It's not possible for an individual or a citizen to always keep, to take the onus on ourselves. I mean, I can save as much as water as I want in my house, but if 50 people around my house are washing their cars and driveways, even in today's time and era, and when you complain there is no action, then there's really nothing, because, and now talk about rainwater harvesting or any such, because you spoke of water, so I'm just trying to give you. So there's so many things that that need, but if the government leads in whether they penalize or whether now we have green credits and you actually implement that and encourage people to join, the citizens to join these programs and do those. So unless this comes really vigorously from the government, we can segregate waste as much as we want, but if it goes right outside the house, it's mixed up, then there's no reason. And that's why people are losing hope, and they are just so angry now with the recent landfill fires. Now see, again, that is directly connected. Climate change and air pollution is very much interlinked. When you work on greenhouse emissions, it automatically helps in reducing the air pollution. So everything comes together. When you're talking of Uttarakhand and Uttaranchal and these states, that was also a lot of man-made disaster. That is like it's intentional. That is because of your whether it's corruption or whether it is your personal.
Yes, so that is something, Bhavrin, that governments and individuals have to work upon. And also, most importantly, that Yeah, that tussle between the developing and the developed world that goes on, that also needs to be resolved. The developed countries need to take responsibility of the damage that they've done in the past and not keep on pressurizing the developing countries. But we'll leave it there. Anand Sharma and Bhavreen Kandari, thank you very much to both of you for joining us on Nation Tonight and sharing your perspective on this concern that we're grappling with every day.